In this video, I'm walking you through how to do Flexion Abdominal Position Pull-Overs. I've done another video on Flexion Abdominals Position, so I'm not going to run you through the ins and outs of what I'm doing here. If you haven't done Flexion Abdominals Position before, please do watch my video on Flexion Abdominals Position. Or if the shoulder exercise kind of component of this feels too much, then do make sure you are doing Flexion Abdominals Position to the best of your ability in order for you to get the most out of what we're going to be doing today, which is pullovers. So, what we're going to do is just get a sense of our rib cage here. So you may well need a cushion or even 2 or even 3 cushions underneath your head in order for you to feel like the bottom of the back of your rib cage is grounded on the floor. In this exercise, which is going to look a little bit like this, we have to make sure that our rib cage stays down. So most people, they're so immobile and dysfunctional in their shoulders and in their arms that as they take their arms backwards, it's not the shoulder opening up kind of relative to the armpit. So can you see how I've got this big wide angle here because my rib cage is rounded? If the rib cage comes with you and you have a big arch in your lower back, you're not moving your shoulders, you're just compensating through your spine. So it might go some way to explain why maybe you have lower back or maybe mid-back pain. If your shoulders are locked up and the rib cage has to compensate, you are not moving from your shoulders, you are moving through your spine, so it might cause back pain. So we have to make sure the rib cage stays grounded in that exercise. And for some people, it's going to be a combination of pillow under their heads just to help ground the upper body, but also it may help to have a little bit of light, not crazy abdominal gripping, a little bit of light abdominal gripping to just help pull your your rib cage down to the floor slightly, so you can sort of lightly engage your abs, and it might make you feel like you're kind of pulling down in that like mid lower back area, and you're going to keep that there. Your hands are moving up to the ceiling and you're interlinking your fingers together. Keep the base of your hands together throughout. Okay, so keep palms together. You might notice that your hands want to do that, and that's your wrists trying to cheat. So your hands are firm together. You're really driving up and away from your body here. So whilst the exercise looks a bit like this, too many people get too preoccupied with trying to touch the floor. And what that will result in is a bending of an elbow or a bending of a wrist in order to get there. So can you see how when I'm doing that, I'm not opening up my shoulder, I'm karate chopping my hands down to the floor. So this is not a shoulder exercise anymore, it's just that let's just continue compensating through my lower arms exercise and not change the shoulder in the way that I want to. So we have to keep the rib cage down. We have to keep the arms as straight as we can. And the way in which I like to instruct this now is to really think about the arms driving away from your body rather than just moving behind you, okay? So if you really think about length through your arms, it's going to help you move through the shoulder better, okay? And your goal is ultimately not for your hands to touch the floor, because again, that's going to put you in the territory of wanting to do this if you're not careful. You're actually aiming to get the backs of your arms, your triceps, towards the floor. So this is what we're trying to open up. It's not really about what your hands are doing. So don't fixate on the hands. Think about length through your arms, rib cage being grounded, and only then are you seeing if you can get those triceps towards the floor. So maintaining squeeze into the block for the Flexion Abdominals position, slowly moving those arms back behind and just getting a sense of, is my rib cage lifting up to achieve this movement? If it is, you're trying to take your hands too far, like this, and if you're in any pain, you're trying to take your hands too far. So when you start this exercise, it's absolutely not uncommon that you might just be working within this range of movement here. This is infinitely more beneficial for you if this is enabling you to keep the rib cage down, keep your arms straight, and keep your palms together. This is more beneficial than somebody who is chopping down to the floor, lazy through the arms, and flaring through the rib cage because they're not opening up their shoulders. So as ever, we are mindful, we are careful. It is length through the arms we are going for, and it's the back of the arms ultimately that we want touching the floor, not the hands, because otherwise we might karate chop. Really trying to keep that rib cage grounded throughout this exercise, which is flexion abdominal position pullovers. Sorry, I was going to say something else.